It's a Sky Square for action requesting fire mission danger close and grid square. Shortly, Bravo function.
Yo, what's up, Third ID? This is not Specialist Johnson. This is Corporal Johnson now. I am the second IC of Reaper Squad. Second platoon? I am second platoon now. That's right. It changed. Second platoon, first squad, best squad. Hoop, Reapers. And I am being graced. Is that the word I want to use? Graced? Yeah, I use graced. With a certain individual here. Last month it was Major LaFlash. Now, who are you now?
Hi.
Okay, so he's not feel like talking right now. So I guess he's just too busy like screaming at privates or something that he just lost his voice at BCT last week.
Well, my name is Captain A.Cantu. Here joining the Corporal. Definitely excited to be participating in this podcast this month. I am the Bravo Company Commander. Bravo Company being the best company, of course. I'm also the NCOIC of Public Affairs here. Excuse me, the OIC. I was NCOIC before, but then I became an officer.
I can be OIC if you want. I mean, you just gotta transfer that rank down. You can have Corporal. I mean, I'm done with it. You can have it.
It's definitely something we can probably discuss here. You know, you do quite a lot of good work for us here in Public Affairs. Definitely does not go unnoticed. Also, I am the OIC for Force Improvement Group FIG as well, which is a very important part of the unit here. Do a lot of good work with BCT and also our other courses that we run, the Air Assaults, the Airborne Schools, Warrior Leadership Course, and Advanced Leader Course, things like that.
So how many hats do you wear on a regular basis?
Several. You know, there's always something that needs to be done. There's always some work, whether it's doing the actual work or giving advice to other soldiers when they're trying to do work, helping them out, giving them answers to questions they may have, or delegating different things that I need to have done to different people that are a part of my team.
I know exactly how that feels. I just recently started being a hat collector. First, I was in RRO as a recruiter, and then I decided I want to do a podcast for PAO. And then out of nowhere, I kept getting asked. I made it mentioned. I may have mentioned one time that I want to be in FIG, and people kept saying you should go be an RSO. You should be in FIG. So I'm like, why the heck not? So I signed up, and now I'm in FIG. So that's 3.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I suggest everybody do is get involved with the various DMOSs that we have here. It's really what helps the unit run on a day-to-day basis. We want to have an environment where people are able to be successful in the job that we want to do, which is obviously our infantry job. But you have to have a back end that's functional and working and is efficient to be able to support all the people that we have. So definitely having those different jobs available and having people sign up for them is a great thing to do. I suggest that you try not to do everything at once because you can't get burnt out. But I find myself personally, I'm involved in pretty much every DMOS one way or another, whether I'm assisting or I'm an officer in charge or things of that nature. There's always something that can be done, and everybody can help with pretty much anything in any of the DMOSs. Recruiting and retention is obviously one of the biggest ones. Anybody and everybody can be a recruiter, and even if you're not signed up for recruiting and retention, you should be that recruiter. We all should have it on our plate to be out there recruiting and bringing more life into the unit. That's the only way that we're going to advance. That's the only way that new leadership positions are going to open up, is if we get those soldiers coming in fresh every month.
Exactly. I mean, we have a lot of DMOSs open. If you want to be a specialist or higher, then you're going to have to go into DMOS. But granted, I was kind of iffy about it when I first went in. But after I got involved, I just love constantly working. I love keeping my hands busy, which is about 50% of the reason I started the podcast, because I hated just stagnating and doing nothing in between operations and in between squad drills. And it just feels good to just help out and do that. There's a couple of positions open, actually. We got recruiters and RRO. They can pretty much go out and just post on forums. They talk to new people in the server, get their mods installed correctly, everything. Pretty much solving every single problem they have so that the SDC can just get them processed and you're in the unit. We have the Public Affairs Office has several positions open: journalist and broadcast combat journalist, which I'm a broadcast combat journalist, to me. So if you want to be a part of my team, go for it. Just go on forums, pop a request, and if we have some more room pop open, then by all means, you can enlist.
By all means, we always need that additional help in public affairs. Public affairs is really the face of the unit. When not only do we, as members of the unit, rely on PAO to know what's going on throughout the unit, we've got several different squads, we've got several different platoons, 2 different companies, as well as our headquarters company. So everybody's doing something different. And the way that we disseminate information and let each other know what's going on is really through the work that PAO does. But in addition to that, the outside communities that we're a part of, not just the America's Army community, not just the ArmA community, but the gaming community in general, the milsim community, things like that, these other groups are able to get an idea of what we're doing based on the work that PAO does and publishes.
Exactly. We have actually 3 different topics that PAO actually put out later in this podcast, but we're going to stick to the timeline. We're going to get to that when it gets that. No need to jump in the gun already. But the first talking point we're going to hit on is Operation Bronzefire. Just started this month. I think it was on the 6th, if I'm not mistaken, that the first operation was for Alpha Company. It was Operation Bronzefire Mission Buck and Bronco, where we went out and tried to reclaim a city. And what did you guys do on Bravo side?
Well, we've already done our 2 missions. So our first mission really was a part of that in continuation of what was mission Bucking Bronco. So pretty much we were tasked with going to the west of the airfield outside of Encircley, and we received orders to check out an abandoned local mall. There had been a coalition helicopter that went down that was en route to the northern airfield, but that had sensitive information. So we were tasked to go and retrieve that information. We were successful. We were able to assault the mall. We found the information and were able to extract it, take it back to headquarters.
Actually, that's why I love this unit so much, is because of stories that get involved and everything's plotted out, and whatever you might achieve, it might fail at, changes the rest of the operation and how it might pan out. But as far as Alpha Company goes, last thing that we did was we actually went on a humanitarian mission where we brought medical supplies to the civilians to try and gain the trust and gain intel from the civilians and figure out what best way we can help them clear out this threat, which right now we're fighting guerrilla tactics, which it's very complicated. Well, it's not complicated. It's just hard to predict because you never know when they're going to hit, how they're going to hit. So it's a little bit stressful, but that's what I love about this, is being in that action.
Absolutely. And our operations, it's very difficult for us to organize and make these operations because you've got 2 different games, 2 different play styles. ArmA is a much more vast world with a slower gameplay, whereas America's Army is a much smaller world with a lot faster gameplay. So we have to create our operations and our missions to accommodate both of those scenarios. That's one of the great things that I like about the unit here, is that we try to do that. We try to make these events be something that's extra, something that's different. Any unit out there, any clan or group out there can go and just say, hey, let's go pub for this weekend, or let's go assault somebody else's server and kick them out of it because we're kicking their ass, that kind of thing. That's not what we're about. We're here about doing the job of the infantry. We're generating these kinds of operations, these scenarios, these storylines to give us that feeling of we're participating in an actual mission or operation.
And that's the great thing about it. It's all about realism. The key state that Third ID pushes right under the name Third ID is Third ID Realism Unit. That's what they're all about, being realistic as possible. So moving on to the next talking point, we have, of course, the award ceremony came up at the beginning of the month. I know I'm a little behind the gun on it, but I gotta announce everybody. If you weren't there, if you didn't really pay attention, if nothing happened, covered everything that happened. The first of which was that Sergeant. Oh, where's my list? My list is closed. Sergeant Mott and Sergeant Strickland both are promoted to the rank of Staff Sergeant. I've known these two gentlemen for quite a bit of time, and they get their hands dirty when they have to and do work when they have to get it done. But Captain Cantu knows more about that than I do.
Definitely a well-earned promotion by both of these soldiers. They have been sergeants for over 6 months and squad leaders for over 6 months. One of the things that we look at as command staff or company commanders, things like that, is when we're doing these promotions, we do have certain requirements. And staff sergeant is one of those really big promotions where we don't give them out very quickly or very easily. You have certain requirements you have to have. Generally, your staff sergeant is going to be your platoon sergeant. It's not something that we give to squad leaders on a regular basis. There comes cases where we have somebody who's been at that position for such a long time that we make that exception. This guy is a staff sergeant. These two have earned the right to be called a staff sergeant because they do such an outstanding job in being great leaders, being great mentors to their soldiers, and being just overall great assets to the entire team of both the squad, the platoon, the company, and the unit overall. So definitely well-earned promotions there by both of these soldiers. I'm glad to have them as part of the team.
And the most important thing to remember is that they all started as privates. They started as corporals, specialists, recruits, even sometimes. Hey, just gotta stick with it. The more work you do, the more you stand out. Even though you think, oh, they're not paying attention, they don't really care. They're watching. They just might not mention it sometimes. I mean, that's just how it is. Just keep your head up, keep doing your work, do your job, and you'll get recognized for it. Just like these two gentlemen were.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite things about this unit, and that's something that I talk about often when I do BCT graduations. I started off as a private trainee. Major LaFlash started off as a private trainee. Captain Neto started off as a private trainee. All of our officers, we all started there, the same place that everybody else does. In most groups or clans or units out there, it's all about who you know. Are you friends with the leader? Are you related to the leader? You're their brother, their sister, that kind of thing. Those are the requirements generally to become a leader in those types of places. We don't operate that way. We promote leaders based on their ability and their actions that they've done for us, the merits that they bring to the table. So all of these soldiers have all been promoted through the ranks. I myself, as I said, started as a private trainee, became a fire team leader, eventually a squad leader, and then eventually was moved up to platoon lead. From there, we moved on to company commander. I've been in the unit for a little bit over a year and a half, and I was able to do that. Every single person in this unit has the opportunity or the ability to do the same thing. We're always looking for those quality leaders. We're always looking to promote them and push them through and give them the tools necessary to be successful leaders. So I definitely enjoy that about the unit. We all have that mentality of wanting to become better people overall and better players as well.
It's something that we do in Reapers, and especially all over the place, but I do it personally, is when I get in a recruit or a private or whatever rank they are, I sit down with them, I ask them, where do you see yourself going? Do you want to be a leader? Do you want to kind of just be a medic? Or do you want to be a fire team leader but not go to squad leader? Then you have to make those tools available just to make all that work. And that's what I do. That's what I've seen Major LaFlash does, what Captain Cantu does, even as going as low as my squad leader, Sergeant Del Toro. We all do that. So all you have to do is, if you're a private or something listening right now, just talk to your squad leader. Say, look, I'm ready to step up to not squad leader, but fire team leader, baby steps. And they're going to make it work. They're going to make it happen. And if you, at some point, you feel like you're not being utilized, talk to your squad leader. They might have forgotten. They might just need a little reminder. So just do that. But moving on to the next talking point after we talked about that enough, we have 2 new recruitment videos that actually us two and a lot of amazing actors and talents went into. But first of all, we're going to talk about the ArmA recruitment trailer, which is called Progression, third Infantry Division. It took me roughly a week to write the script. Well, not even a week. It took me about a couple days. Not even a couple days, like an hour, maybe 2 hours to write the script. And then it took me a week to gather everybody to actually do the recording. And I want to give actually a shout out to Staff Sergeant Day and Sergeant Worrell, because they made my job a lot easier. They gathered everybody up. He kept asking me what I need, how I need to do it, and made my job a lot easier. So shout out to him. There's a lot of people I don't really remember. I gotta pull up the list. I'm gonna put something in this video at some point where I have a list of people, probably gonna pop up on your screen right now if I was involved in the video. But it took us roughly 4 hours to film. And in the end, I ended up with 2.5 hours of raw footage. And then I cut it down to about a 4.5 minute video. And it took me maybe 4 hours to film. No, 4 hours to edit. And me going back and forth with A.Cantu, how we're gonna upload it, what is it gonna look like, what song are we gonna use? And it was fun. I had a blast recording it, editing it, all that good stuff. But thank you again for the people that helped out on it. I'm gonna put a list. There it goes, just flashing the screen. If you missed it, there it goes again. So, what about you, Captain? What about your video?
Well, we had our America's Army, the Army Core Values video that we made. What I did was I went through and I turned off everything in my HUD so that it was just blank video footage, and I just recorded our guys playing. I spent several hours, sometimes on an alias, so they wouldn't even know it was me recording, and just watching them play, recording them playing on different maps, trying to get footage of them working together as a team, getting the objective, things of that nature, and recorded all of that. And then I went in and found some music, edited it all together, put in the Army values there. The focus of the video being that listed all of the 7 Army values with the tagline, "We live the Army values, can you enlist today?" So it was a short and sweet video. Definitely took me a lot of work. I'm not as skilled of an editor as you are, so it was a learning experience for me, and definitely look forward to making more videos in the future. But if you haven't checked it out, go take a look at it and give me some feedback. Let me know what you think.
I have seen it a couple times, and we actually talked about it when you were launching it. You were just concerned on what color the font should be, and it is a show against the background, and is it block too much sight? And I'm like, calm down, it's good. But you were stressing out of it way more than I stressed over my video. But it's
Well,
good
like
to see
I
that kind
said,
of dedication.
you're definitely a lot better at this stuff than I am. So I have to spend more time focusing on those kind of minute details. And I did. I stressed over it. I made about 20 different variations, and I took screenshots and posted them up on a website and asked several people for input on it. Finally, we came up with the answer that we put in the video, and I think it worked out pretty well.
Funny thing about it, that's actually my first video ever edited, ever. But I'm kind of a semi-perfectionist when it comes to releasing things like that, so I don't want to release anything that I don't see personally as being amazing. So that's what took me so long.
Well, definitely glad to have you taking part of that and making that video. It was an excellent job. I definitely enjoyed it and look forward to the next installment.
Right back at you. Actually, I might actually work on that video when I get back from my little vacation this weekend. Oh, we'll see what happens. So, up next on the list is karaoke night. Now, as of recording, it's 3 days from now, but if you're listening to this on the day of release, karaoke night is tonight on February the 26th. I want to say it's at 2000. I want to say it's at 2000. You might have to check on the forums. I'll pop a link to the page in the forums where they have a schedule up. Just go there. I hear there's going to be lots of drinking, lots of singing, and lots of good times. 21 and up to participate. You can participate in the singing, but not the drinking. 21 and up, because Corporal Johnson does not indulge in minors drinking. There, take that. But anyway, I gotta have my disclaimer at the end to protect me from all liability. You know that, Captain?
Well, definitely, we try to make it a fun environment and a fun event, but we are also good stewards of our fellow soldiers. and we want to make sure that we do tell our soldiers that, if you're underage, you shouldn't be drinking. I personally I worked EMS, EMT for 10 years. I've seen a lot of bad stuff. I've seen a lot of people die and have horrible injuries from drinking and driving and from being in those kinds of situations. So I always tell people, be responsible, be safe. But that said, definitely I'm looking forward to this event. It is at 2000 Eastern Time on the 26th. I haven't signed up myself. I don't know if I will sing or not. Depends on how much tequila my wife gives me ahead of time. If we do, then we'll see how it goes.
I want to say that there are a couple of high-ranking people that's going to be there. So you get to see some of your commanders sing very drunkenly into the microphone. Actually, the only person signed up right now is Staff Sergeant Green. So if you never heard him sing, you're going to like it. I've heard Staff Sergeant Funk sing once, and he was singing Wrecking Ball as he was falling from a helicopter. That was a sight. That was really a sight. I enjoyed that, and I would love to see it again. 10 out of 10 would hear again. If you're out there, Funk, I want to hear it again. Record it, put it on iTunes, and I'll buy it.
Well, I mean, he's Ranger qualified, so we allow them those kind of leeway, every now and then.
Funk is Ranger qualified?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that. That's actually something I did not know.
It's funny you mentioned that, because one of my things that I like to brag about is that Bravo Company has more ArmA Ranger qualified soldiers than Alpha Company does.
I mean, yeah. That's until
like I said at the beginning, Bravo Company's the best. I may be a little biased.
I wouldn't say that much. I'm starting to get good at Bravo Company stuff. I'm getting better. I got my first time into a round. I got a triple kill, bam, right off the back, and then I went negative the rest of the night.
Outstanding.
That game is hard. This is coming from me. I may not be the best ArmA player, but APG makes me think a lot more. Well, not really think. It does work on my twitch reflexes, because if I see like a little red silhouette or something, I just spray in that direction, and I happen to get a kill sometimes, and it works. When it works, it works. But then again, yeah, you guys can see me in the not ArmA, but the APG channels from time to time. It's actually a fun game. If you haven't played it, go check it out, especially Gilmore. I know. Have you heard? Gilmore loves that game. He's like, he put so much money into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
Have you tried changing?
Well, I do make the joke where I talk about Bravo being the best and everything, but we are all one unit. And I enjoy both games. I enjoy ArmA 3 as much as I enjoy America's Army, and I encourage all of our soldiers to try out both. The great thing about America's Army is if you want to play it and you haven't yet, I am more than willing to buy you a copy. So definitely come see me about that.
It's a trap. That game is free. Isn't that right, Cantu? Captain Cantu.
It is free. Yeah. So come try it out. There's no
he
reason
bought
not
a
to.
copy for everybody. He bought every copy and he made it free on Steam. That is from Captain to you, the populace.
Talking about hip firing or when you aim?
Yeah, hip fire.
Anyway, dipping into some other stuff. What's your favorite game mode that you like to run in APG? I've been curious about that.
It really just depends on the map, who I'm playing with, and things of that nature. It's as part of the unit function type of thing. We always try to stress, objective first. But sometimes it's fun to just go and try and farm some kills, depending on who I'm playing against. Sometimes Corporal Jackman makes me want to rage quit because he just keeps killing me. Other times, Staff Sergeant McGuffey is just doing nothing but sniping, so I got to counter sniping. It just kind of depends on the gameplay. There's other times where, I just want to do nothing but grab the flag and run it, because if I can extract the flag within, say, 45 seconds of the round start, that's pretty fun to do as well.
I've played quite a few times, actually, and I'm always the person that either runs out first and immediately gets mowed down, or I see a down person, and then they're baiting me to go up to them, and then when I get there and start resurrecting that down person, and that down person is either... Actually, no, not the name drop, is either Lieutenant Cantu or Major LaFlash. I always end up getting either those two up, or Strickland. I get him up a lot too.
I thought you were gonna make it.
But I have fun. I really do. It's nice to just pop in the game and just play a couple rounds, not to worry about anything, just do your thing.
Yeah, one of the great things I like about America's Army is that you can just go in and start going at it. With ArmA, I have a lot of fun because I can accomplish a big task. So when I go into ArmA, I know that I'm going to go and attack this city, or I'm going to go and help clear out the entire map for liberation, whatever the case is going to be. The problem with it is that it ends up being a huge event. It's going to take several hours for me to feel like I've accomplished something, which is great because it is a big accomplishment. I do feel like I've accomplished something huge. With America's Army, it's a lot more fast paced, and I feel like if I just want to unwind, I want to relax, I want to go talk to the guys, have a good time and just shoot things, I can do that in America's Army. There's no huge preparation time getting my loadout, getting all my mods together, things like that. So that's definitely both games have their different merits, and that's one of the things that I really like about America's Army is we can just go in and have fun.
Yep, I'm definitely with you about 75%. Because I got to get my ArmA love, I'm sorry. But now we're going to go into a little bit of ArmA stuff now. We're talking about ABG for a little bit. So we're going to go into ArmA. Everybody's familiar about the Eden patch that came out not too long ago. Spot rep number 00052. It launched on February 18th, 2016, and it came out with a really long list of tweaks and additions and everything into the game. I'm only going to go over a little of them because the list is probably got about 200 things they changed, and more or less they're just bug fixes and stuff like that. But what they released is they released a new launcher, which is a little easier to use. It runs a little smoother for me personally to load my mods and everything. They have the legacy builds. The legacy build Steam branch got available for advanced users, and it contains previous main branch versions of 1.5, and it is used to compare specific changes between major releases. Now, that whole thing in old jargon means if you didn't like the new updates, you can revert back to previous stuff and use the Legacy Edition, and you'll be just fine. Aside from that, not much stuff has really changed. More or less, they changed the sound effects in games. They fixed clipping issues. They tweaked the PDW. They a couple of other weapons. They just did a lot of tweaks to make the game run more smooth. Well, not more smoother. Run smoother. I'm flubbing it up today. Run smoother with different modifications, different add-ons, because we all run it with mods. ArmA 3 is just vastly superior with mods, so they made that a lot smoother for you. But that's pretty much all on ArmA side. AEPG. I don't think they changed that much this month, did they?
No, there was a patch that came out earlier this month, but it was mainly just minor bug fixes, nothing too much to really talk about. One thing I will talk about that we are reviewing in America's Army, or that's part of the community right now, and it's already been kind of touched on in the previous podcast and carried on through the website and forums, is the TWL events that are going on. Team Warfare League is really trying to come back full force. We did have our community night event that we helped host with them last month, and they've already got one scheduled for next month as well. So next month on the 11th at 2100 Eastern will be TWL Community Night number 2. So that'll be hosted by them, and we'll be providing our servers as well that night, like we did the last time. So we'll all get together here in TeamSpeak and then go over to their TeamSpeak at the time that the event starts and kind of go from there. In addition to that, TWL has also announced that they are having an Ides of March tournament. There isn't really a lot of details yet about what that entails or what's going on. We've been told that we can definitely have at least 2 teams. It's going to be 4v4. I'm assuming it's going to be on the 15th. I haven't been given a definitive answer on that, but being the Ides of March, that's what I would assume. Although the 15th is a Tuesday night, so I'm not sure how well that's going to work out. But definitely, I intend for us to field at least 1 or 2 teams for that. I'll be participating myself, so we'll look forward to that. If you guys haven't been to their website, definitely check out teamwarfare.net. Get signed up on their forums and check out their Steam group as well. That way you can be participating in the competitive side of it. Also, if you don't have to be in Bravo Company to participate in these TWL matches and things like that, these events that we're having. If you're in the Alpha Company, you have America's Army, you want to field a team, definitely feel free to do so.
I've seen that event pop up a couple times on the forums and on the webpage. Last month, the turnout was amazing. There was probably three servers that were completely full.
Right, we had 3 full servers. There was through the course of the night, there was over 120 people that came on to play with us. So it was definitely a great event, good turnout.
120 people, and if I'm not mistaken, there was prizes, there was quizzes, there was all sorts of stuff being given away. So it's not like you're just going to go. And you have a chance to win some nice stuff. Are they doing it this time?
I'm not certain about the door prizes or the raffle drawings, things like that. We did have several this last round. I myself won a $20 Steam gift card, which was wonderful. Was able to buy some things off of that. And I know several of our soldiers won various different prizes as well. I'm not sure what they'll be doing this time, but I know that I spoke with Mr. Inevitability, the person who's in charge of the TWL America's Army Division over there, and he was floating ideas with me back and forth a couple of weeks ago about ideas for different kinds of awards they could do, things that I've done for our soldiers here that maybe they could use as ideas as well. So I don't know what the outcome of that discussion, but definitely I know that he's thinking about it and considering different things that he wants to do to help improve the community, the TWL community, and the America's Army community overall. I'm definitely glad to have him running over there the show, and look forward to seeing what all Team Warfare is going to accomplish for the community here.
Awesome. Do you have a date for the next event?
Yeah, the TWL Community Night #2 is going to be on Friday, March 11th at 2100 Eastern. And the Ides of March tournament, as I mentioned, I'm not sure the exact date, but the 15th is a Tuesday, so we'll see how that goes.
Be sure to mark those dates down, guys. If you missed it, it's easy. We don't have to repeat it. You just got to rewind the podcast maybe about 10 seconds, and it'll say it again. It's like magic. It's like technology. I'm a technological wizard. What can I say?
Yeah, definitely we'll also be adding it. You'll have threads on the forums that you'll see, so definitely make sure you're checking that on a regular basis. And as we get closer towards the event and we get more definitive answers on different dates and things like that, we'll be posting them in our calendar on the website as well.
Awesome. So be sure you check that out. Make sure everything. If you want to participate in it, go ahead, because you're not going to regret it. So while we're on our while I got you talking, I'm going to keep you talking with the APG map making competition that recently wrapped up. So what did you see with all that?
Well, the America's Army had the Great Outdoors Map Contest, which they announced back in November, around the time frame of the full release of the game. Contestants were given about 3 months to create a map following the Great Outdoors theme, something that's not too commonly seen in the America's Army maps these days. I played America's Army since the first release, and when I think back on A1 and A2, 2.5, and earlier, some of my favorite maps were things like Swamp Raid, River Basin, Mountain Pass, Mountain Ambush, those types of maps that were outside. And I think the purpose of this competition was to bring some more of that into today's America's Army Proving Grounds gameplay. So there were 40 total submissions that were narrowed down by the devs to about 10 of them. That was around the first week of this month. They narrowed it down. So at that time, we actually went ahead and put all of 10 of those maps on one of our servers, and we let it run for the weekend. We tried them all out and tested them out. Out of those, the favorite, I think, of all of our players, of all the members of Third ID, was certainly Creeping, a map called Creeping by a player named Gundingo. Creeping is a swamp map. It has water that you can kind of crawl around in it, but when doing so, your vision gets blurry, and so you have to really pop out of the water to shoot the enemy. So it kind of masks your movement, but then you also have to expose yourself to be able to engage the enemy, which makes you a more visible target. I think the novelty of that idea is kind of what made the map so popular. I personally wasn't too fond of the map just because I felt like it was imbalanced for the defensive team. There wasn't really a lot of options for the defensive to cover or hide while being assaulted from pretty much three different directions or sides of the map. This map also, with Ghost Rider by Ronnie DK, were noted as honorable mentions by the dev team. So they didn't win, but those two were definitely noted as honorable mentions, and I think they were both pretty good maps.
What's that? Nerd.
Actually, that sounds pretty good. What we're gonna have is playing within this little segment is there's gonna be some footage playing. If you look at the screen right now, I'm gonna be playing some game. Probably looking at a respawn screen because I'm not that good. So somebody give some tips because I'm trying to stay alive. Maybe am I resurrecting yet? Nope, still dead. Yeah, I'm still dead. This is pre-recorded, by the way, because I'm not even looking at the screen. So we're gonna play some of those maps. Hopefully, we can arrange that later in the day and get these maps recorded.
Yeah, definitely. So my personal favorite in the competition was Patrol Trapped by Red Baron 64 from Italy, which is it's a take and hold map with 3 objectives. It's a wide open map. It has a lot of vegetation, small shacks, and buildings that provide cover spots. I felt there were many routes of movement available really to both sides, defense and assault. Although the map had my endorsement, it didn't make it into the final 3.
You use Fraps or Shadowplay to record?
So, personally, what was your personal favorite map?
Yeah, definitely I would say that Patrol Trapped was the personal favorite. I really like that one.
I gotta actually play these maps. You got me like really excited to download them right now and jump in the servers. We'll stop recording. We're done recording for tonight. We're just gonna go play some more games. We'll see you guys next month. No, I'm kidding. We have to finish this up. We'll wrap this up in a hurry. Don't keep you here too much longer.
Oh, great. Well, there were 3 maps that were considered the winners of the competition. It wasn't a first, second, or third place type of thing. It was just 3 maps that were chosen overall. These 3 maps will be added to the official rotation by the devs. What the devs are going to do is they'll take these maps and kind of perfect them, brush up some of the issues that may be there with clipping and things like that, and just make it look more polished and ready for publication, much like the last map was the last contest winner, which was Overload, which is now in there. So there were 3 winners. The first one that was announced was Cabin Fever by Groundhog, which is a take and hold objective type that has hills and foliage with various routes of movements. The second winner was Stone Ruins by Red Baron 64, which is the same map maker who made the one that was my personal favorite, the Patrol Trapped. He's definitely a great map maker. Earlier I mentioned that he was my other favorite was in the top 10. So his skill truly shows in that he had those 2 submissions in the top 10, including that second winner there.
See, that's something I'm not that good at. I'm creative when it comes to audio mastery and maybe video every now and then, but level design and map design, I tried that a long time ago in Tony Hawk. I don't know if you guys remember that Tony Hawk Underground game where you let you design your own skate park, and all I did was make a continuous Jacob's ladder of loops. And I wanted to try and go down all the loops and hit the ground. It never worked out as well as I thought it would have. So kudos to these guys for putting the time and effort into making these amazing maps.
Yeah, well, and most of you probably know that I'm somewhat of an amateur map maker myself. I, of course, am still learning, and I'm nowhere near as good as these guys were who participated in the contest. But I feel that, as a map maker, I can appreciate the effort that they made. As the winners of the contest, their maps, as I mentioned, are going to be added into the game, and that's a pretty, I think, cool achievement to have. We have several other map makers that are in our unit here, such as Staff Sergeant Funk, we have Corporal Carter, Corporal Kane, Specialist Kakushi, Special Shields, and I know we have some others that I'm not mentioning here that I'm forgetting. But I'm hoping really to see us participating, not only in the next contest, but also just putting out content in general for both, the unit to use and also the America's Army community to use.
And will there be another map making contest in the future for people that feel like they kind of missed out and they kind of want to get into it now?
There hasn't been one announced yet, but I'm certain that the AA devs will. I forgot to mention the last winner of the 3, which was Small Terrain by Keeler 750. It's a pretty good map. I liked it. It's all outdoors, and it feels a lot like Mountain Ambush from AA2, which I mentioned earlier as being one of the ones that I liked. One of the awesome things about that map that they put out is that it brings a different twist to the mission completion. So it's you capture the flag type of event. You have to pick up the flag, but either team can pick it up and extract it. And even if, say, the assault team grabs the flag and they're running to extraction, you can actually kill the flag carrier, pick up the flag from him, and then take it back to your extract. So it's really dynamic, kind of a tug of war type of thing. You can go back and forth with it. So that's really fun. But definitely we'll see whenever the America's Army devs announce their next contest, I certainly want to have us participate in that, and we'll be make sure to post on our forums that it's going to be starting, and that way we can all work together. We may even have a team of our guys put together a map overall, and that may be something that we want to try to accomplish.
We're gonna get our top men on this. Top.
Absolutely, of course.
Okay, that was a joke that really didn't pan out like I thought it was gonna pan out. But oh well, for all you that got the joke, kudos to you. For my friends over the pond, bully to you, bully to you. I don't know what that means. I just heard people say it once. I'm just gonna say it.
I thought we were keeping this PG-13.
Is that what that means? What does it mean?
Well, I can't repeat it.
Ah, G Christ, damn. Nah, I tried to think of the most G-rated swear word I could say, but the best thing I could think about is oh, I can't even think of one that's good. Oh,
Well,
fish sticks. That's it.
I am
That's
the
a good
wrong.
one.
I'm the wrong person to ask. You know, I'm a sailor, so it is very difficult for me to do this event tonight without having a curse word every other word.
We're just gonna say, oh, fish sticks. See that? Look at that. That can be taken wrong for some people, but for all you mature people, which I'm not, you might find that hilarious.
Do you like fish sticks?
Do you like fish sticks in your mouth?
I do.
That's good. That's really really good. I kind of. Anyway, moving on. So now we're to that segment that you all have been waiting for the whole time. Can you guess what it is?
I lied.
The conclusion. Thank you all for coming. Have a
Oh,
good night.
you wish it was that time of the day. It's the man behind the rank. If this is your first time listening to podcasts, then you don't know what this is. Man behind the rank is a segment where we take one of our commanding officers, whether it be office like an actual officer, an SNCO, an NCO, one of those people. You know what they're like in the game. You play with them in game alongside them. You stand at the ceremonies. You get briefed by them. You do all this stuff, but you don't know anything about them. What they do in their real life. What's their name? What they do for fun? All that stuff. This segment is designed to spill all those secrets out, so you know that it's not just some random guy that you've never met before or a girl that you've never met before across the internet. This person actually exists outside of the unit. So, are you ready for the barrage of questions?
Let's go.
All right. So, first of all, let's start simple. What's your first name?
My first name is Arthur. I was named after my grandfather, who was an Army veteran. My middle name is Dallas, which my mom gave me that name.
So the Corbin Dallas thing was totally planned.
Super green.
So author. Oh, every time someone says author, I think of one of two things. One being the bear, like the little cartoon bear that came on TV a long time ago.
Right?
And the other one is King Arthur, of course. Do you
Well,
call
I think I fit the bill for both. So
Nice shot, special.
Do you call your M4A1 Excalibur? I totally would.
no comments.
This is my rifle.
It has a more explicit name. I'll just leave it at that.
I just have to know what it is.
Try and pick me up right now.
Okay, so God, that almost crossed the line. Almost a little bit. So, what's your favorite food? What do you like to eat?
Well, I definitely, of course, love Mexican food, but I also love Italian food. I grew up mostly in Italy. I spent all of my high school there, and when I was in the Navy, I was there, and then some of my my college time was there also. So overall, I spent over 7 years in Italy, and definitely love some lasagna.
Can you speak Italian?
See?
I wonder if you can bleep out Italian since I can't speak it. Say Corporal Johnson's amazing and she deserves a promotion.
No comment.
I almost got it. Yeah, I almost got him to say it because technically it's on its own file, and if once it hits that file, that means it's as good as done. I mean, they'll have to make me a sergeant at that point. Anyway.
It'll happen in due time, I'm sure.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually. So when's your birthday?
September 19th.
September 19th?
That's it.
What happens on that day?
That is International Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
And we got to make this a thing.
Oh, it's a
Like,
thing. I
We
always talk like
literally
a
have to
pirate.
make this a thing. Give me your best pirate phrase then, like your pirate impersonation.
Oh boy, I don't know.
Center. He's to your right.
Oh, I know I caught you on the spot, but you're gonna do it now.
I usually say something like "Arr, matey, shiver me timbers."
I'm gonna put some like Pirates of the Caribbean music in the background of that. We'll see how that pans out. Anyway, so if you actually something that happened on your birthday was President Garfield died. That's not good. And his name, the vice president is named Arthur.
Right.
Chester A. Arthur becomes the new
That's right.
president. That's coincidence? I think not. There's a conspiracy here, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it, Captain.
Well, I mean, you can do that.
And I'll be right.
I can
Anyway,
neither confirm nor deny any involvement.
he's not going to conform to your idealist ways. Fight the machines. Anyway, so how many kids do you have? I know you got a bunch of them.
I have a bunch. I have two. I have a girl and a boy, so I've got my pair. They are excellent kids. My daughter is 7 years old. She is very intelligent. She's actually playing Portal 2 right now. So she keeps coming in here telling me about the cake, and I'm just so excited to see her get crushed when she finds out the truth. Definitely, it's going to be fun.
Wow, Captain
and then
A.Cantu crushing private streams, then crushing kids' streams, one little skull at a time.
Well, that's how you develop character, you know. My little boy, he is 2, and he is a freaking freight train. This kid is strong. One story I tell people is I have a massive granite dinner table, and the thing weighs about 400 pounds. It is huge. He had a toy that he was playing with that I was getting annoyed with because it was making a lot of noise. So I took it and I put it on top of the table. So he was about a year and a couple of months old at this time. So what he did was he tried to climb up on top of the table. The way he did this was by doing pull-ups. He was doing full pull-ups, pulling himself up, resting his chin on there, and reaching with his other arm, trying to grab it. Eventually, he got tired because he couldn't reach it, so he got mad. Walked over to our couch. I have a 3-seater couch. It's huge. And he goes and he pushes the freaking couch on the carpet all the way over to where the table is so that he could climb up on the couch to the table, grab his toy, then climb down, and continue to make more noise, annoying me. This kid is freaking solid. He's going to be an athlete. I guarantee it.
Are you sure that you didn't find him inside of a space pod in the middle of a field? Because I'm pretty sure he's a Kryptonian.
I don't know. I mean, my wife, she would have to answer that kind of question.
Well, that's going to be for her interview, Sarah. That's going to be for her woman behind the ring, the first official woman behind the ring. But that's way down the line. We're going to find that out. Future secrets. Tune in next. Oh, that's like 4 months from now, 5 months. I need to really make a schedule. I'm getting all chaotic.
We'll get there.
Which one's your favorite kid? No, I'm not going to say. No, how long have you been married?
Well, I've been married for 7 years. It'll be 7 years here in April.
7 years?
Yep.
Damn, you got me beat. I've been married for a staggering 0 years.
Well, we can get that to change, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, who wants to marry me? Just message me on Twitter and go on Facebook and send me a private message in the forum and say, Johnson, I'm going to marry you. And we'll be like, cool, but I'm not changing my name. You're going to change your name to my name instead. And they'll be like, cool, because I'm Johnson. Come on, I got to stay that way forever. I need to stop. I don't know what, like when I just mumble on about nothing. I need to stop that. That's not military-like. You have to yell about nothing.
Well, that's one of the things about military bearing is sometimes you have to know when to turn it off and just have a good time and enjoy yourself. Definitely, I enjoy listening to you talk and rambling on. It gives us a good insight into the kind of person that Corporal Johnson is.
Corporal Johnson is a very sadistic, mean-spirited woman. I'm like the woman in Snow White that just wanders up with the apple, just wants you to take the apple. That's me.
But one thing that I'll point out to people who didn't really know about the background of how this podcast happens. So a couple of weeks ago, Corporal Johnson here messaged me and said, hey sir, you're going to be next up on the list. So I said, okay, great, that sounds fun. We'll do whatever we need to do. So then she starts hounding me every single day. Have you prepared for this segment? Have you prepared for that segment? This is what we're going to do. You need to make sure you're ready for this and that. And she's just yelling at me. And I was like, hey, calm down. It's okay. And she says, no, it's not okay. This has to be done right the first time. So here we are.
You think he's lying. You really think he's lying, everyone. But I'm, oh. Ah, God, I can't swear. And I just want to say a swear word right now that describes me. But I can't. And I'm a
Go for it.
I'm a crabby old woman. I really am. It's just when I got my heart set on something, it's hard to get people to get my mind off of it. But off on that topic, what do you do for a living?
Well, right now I'm mostly a stay-at-home dad. I worked EMS for 10 years, as I mentioned. A lot of that was 120-hour work weeks for a couple of years. So it really took a toll on me and made it difficult to have a family life. So I ended up stopping doing that. I got a job with a pharmacy as a customer service agent and eventually became a team leader where I was in charge of several people. And eventually they offered me the chance to work from home. So now I do a part-time work from home. I do about maybe 4 to 8 hours a week, depending on what they need. And mainly what I do is at night, I review complaints and things like that and just help these people for the pharmacy with any kind of issues they have trying to take care of their customers.
So what you're telling me you do is every time somebody's already upset about something, they send them to you and you have to listen to them just moan and complain for like a couple minutes.
Well, no, what I do is whenever somebody files a complaint, I review how the person who is being complained about handled the situation to see if they did it well or not. And in some cases, I can help give other kinds of solutions to the customer if I find that, our agent didn't do the right thing or there was something they forgot to do, things like that. I can make things happen behind the scenes.
And that sounds like your job here.
It's pretty similar.
And this is something I found out that you guys have in common between Major LaFlash and Captain Cantu here. You guys both have jobs right now that directly mirror what you do in Third ID. Because
Well, I think
Major
that's one of the
LaFlash
things.
is a supervisor for a chain of grocery stores.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's one of the reasons why he and I both are able to share that common vision of what we want the unit to accomplish and what we want to do here. We view this as not just a realism unit or a gaming community or things like that. We view this as an opportunity to help people to become better people, become better leaders, become better soldiers and better, just in general on their whatever they want to accomplish in life. We want to help give them the tools necessary to get there, the confidence to get there. We feel that every soldier that comes here leaves having learned something and having gained something from us that's going to benefit them in their lives, in their real lives, And so that all comes from us, I think from both of us working in those kinds of positions where we have to help people in real life. We're also able to correlate that to the online community as well.
You hit the nail right on the head there. But here's a fun question. Do you have any tattoos?
I do. I have 2 tattoos. On my left shoulder, I have SPQR, which is the symbol of the Roman Empire, Senatus Populesque Romanus. As I mentioned, I pretty much grew up in Italy, and so that was one of the things that I did to kind of commemorate that. I've been all over Europe and the Middle East and Africa and things like that. So a lot of these the countries that were part of the Roman Empire, I've been able to visit during my time when I was in Europe.
Is there any tattoo that you plan on getting in the future that you just not really sure about yet?
Well, I do have another tattoo right now on my right leg. I have a unicorn, so I've got that there. And then I'm definitely planning on getting some more tattoos. I would like to get a Star of Life to commemorate my time working EMS. And definitely I want to get some kind of tattoo to commemorate my family. I haven't decided how I want to do it yet. Considering getting an anchor with some ribbons on it, having the wife's name and the kids' names on it, things like that. But I'm not sure entirely yet what I'm going to do to honor my family there.
Well, when you do get it, we better be the first people that you post the picture on the forums, real life thread. Post one up because I want to see it.
Oh, definitely. I'll make sure we put them up.
So here's I more or less briefed you on most of these questions beforehand, so you got a chance to prepare. But this is the one that you had no idea I was going to ask. This, would you rather shave your beard or lose your internet/phone for a month?
I would not. If I had to have the choice of those two, I would definitely shave the beard because the beard would grow back. The amount of frustration that I would have from not having internet, I don't know if I could survive that long. So I'd probably end up dying. Um, yeah, I've all through high school, I was, I did ROTC in high school, and then of course I joined the Navy, and then I worked EMS and all that kind of stuff. So really, up until I was in my late 20s, I always had a clean shaven face and short hair and everything like that. So now I've decided to kind of grow my beard out, and I would be, I enjoy having it. My wife likes it as well, but I would not be too upset if I had to shave it for any reason. I could definitely manage it.
So you grow the beard back so fast. It's like, if I shave it, you back in a month anyway.
That's true.
And this man has a massive beard. I'm going to post a picture of his beard right here on the screen. Just popped up, and that sound effect really wasn't needed to see your beard. Just oh man! But it just popped the beard on the screen. That's him. That's what his beard looks like. I don't know if I'm going to use a picture with him with super long hair. I'm gonna use it with the long hair because I like it looks. I like the mountain man look.
All right. Yeah, and it looks a lot shorter than it really is because it's very, very curly. It's several inches long at this point. Once you pull it out, if I were to straighten it, it would go really far.
That sounds right. So, what do you like to do when you're not in third ID for your spare time for fun?
Well, I'm actually a tour guide on a World War II aircraft carrier, the USS Lexington, carrier vessel 16. It's based here in Corpus Christi, Texas, where I live. It is a museum ship. It's as I mentioned, it's a World War II aircraft carrier. It participated in pretty much every battle in the Pacific during World War II. After really everything from Tarawa all the way up to Tokyo. It was there at the signing of the treaty in Tokyo Bay. But also it participated in several things after that as well, all the way up until 1991 when it was decommissioned. It was originally a propeller aircraft carrier, and then eventually went to jet aircraft and things like that. Um, I know a lot of history about the ship. As I mentioned, I'm a tour guide, so definitely if you guys are ever in town, you want to come take a look at the ship, I can give you a lot of information about it. But that's what I enjoy doing. That's what I like to do for fun, is go over there and spend time just talking to people. We do educational things where we teach high school students and middle school students things about physics and celestial navigation, um, communications, all kinds of different things there, U.S. history, but also just people in general coming over for their different tours. We talk about a lot of different things. For me, it's very important that we honor the memory of all the sailors that have died on that ship and that have worked hard to kind of help get us to where we're at today, both in not only just the naval service, but as a country. I'm very proud of the accomplishment that ship has had, and I'm glad to honor the memory of those sailors by helping live on their history and their memories and things like that.
What is that? If you're in Corpus Christi area or anywhere around, my voice got all scratchy. If you're in Corpus Christi or San Antonio or anywhere in that area, go down and visit. I was supposed to actually go down and visit this week, but things didn't really work out like we planned on it. But take a rain check, and I'm definitely going to see that ship. So, what's your favorite style of music? What's the thing that really gets you going?
It really depends on the mood that I'm in. I like a lot of different things. I all through elementary through high school, I played classical music and I played jazz. So I've definitely loved classical music. I definitely enjoy jazz music, anything with the beat really. I'm also pretty big into rock. I definitely like Nine Inch Nails and Tool, things like that. But I also
Huh?
like some pop stuff. I like Katy Perry. I like Avril Lavigne. And I sometimes I like Kanye. So it just kind of depends on the mood, I guess.
That's a bold statement. Actually, liking Kanye West.
He's got a couple of good songs. I mean, he's a genius. So
He's a
and
lyrical genius, the voice of a generation. He
exactly
likes
right.
fish sticks.
And he likes fish sticks. Exactly.
Kanye West, please don't sue me. I'm sorry. Anyways, do you have any siblings?
I do have two brothers. They're very young. My well, not very young, but the older of the two is, gosh, I want to say he's 16 now. Yeah, 16. And then the second of my brothers is, I want to say 10 now, 10 or 11. So yeah, they're pretty young. My parents had me when they were very young. They were 16 when I was born. So they pretty much waited till I went off to boot camp, and then I came back from boot camp. My mom was pregnant, so you all can kind of figure out how that worked out.
Well,
Um,
then.
yeah, so that was my first. My first brother was born right after I graduated, or right after I came home from boot camp. So
Well, that's pretty interesting. Do you have any nicknames that we might not be privy to yet?
I don't think so. I mean, I have one nickname, but it's not. It's an Italian nickname, which is not really appropriate for the audience here today. So it's pretty explicit. But that's if you want to ask me in person later, I can tell you. But that's pretty much the only one I can think of.
Yeah, you're gonna get like a flood of text messages and flood of emails and everything. Captain Cantu, what's your nickname? I gotta know. I
I'll
gotta
say,
know.
so those that know Italian, I'll tell you it's Arturo Duro, which with a word missing in the middle. So basically means Arthur Strong. Yeah.
Okay. I was afraid I was gonna have to bleep that for a second. I was like, wait a minute, did you just say that counts as bleep?
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're not gonna bleep that. So, what's the biggest pet peeve you have? It can be anywhere.
Really just my biggest pet peeve is when people don't follow through with their commitments, don't do what they say they're going to do. If you say you're going to do something, then I want to be able to count on you and rely on you to take care of it and handle it. I don't want to have to go back and check on you. I don't want to have to go back and say, hey, this guy isn't reliable or dependable. I don't want to have to do that. I definitely give people a lot of trust, and I like to give people the chance to prove that they're able to do, to accomplish whatever they set out to accomplish. And I hate being disappointed about things like that.
I can relate. I tend to just say, "Hey, I need this done," and then a month later, it's still not done. What? I'll do it. I hate doing that. So, do you have any guilty pleasures? And if you're not familiar with all those out there, what guilty pleasures are, it's something that you are embarrassed that you like. Something that you would be embarrassed if people really that you like it, basically.
I mean, really, when I admit that I like some Kanye, that's kind of one of the biggest things there. I like a little bit of Miley Cyrus every now and then. I do not like any Bieber. Sorry, all you Beliebers out there. But
No, I'm
yeah.
kidding. I actually like Miley Cyrus, like her Wrecking Ball. Oh, that's my soundtrack to my life. If it wasn't the actual, if it wasn't like the music video was just not good. But just that chorus drop, I came in. Oh God, that just drives me crazy every time. And I'm sure like half the people in this unit feel the same way.
Well, definitely, definitely she gets a bad rap because of her personality almost in that. But she does have some really good songs, some really catchy stuff. Like I mentioned, I do like some pop stuff, and I like anything with a really good beat. So, growing up in Italy, we had a lot of, they call it the disco in Europe, but over here it's kind of like, I don't know, a house party or something where, you just get this electronic music with beats and everything. And so growing up over there, I really got used to that kind of stuff, and I like it. So, yeah, she's got some really good stuff. I also like a lot of Paramore and, rock bands. So.
What's your favorite Kanye West song?
Oh boy, I don't know.
I ain't saying she a gold digger. That's mine. Like, I don't know why. I just love that song. Anyway,
I don't know.
great jam on that
Probably
one.
Stronger might be my favorite. I think just because
One of his
what he
newer,
says.
like one of his later ones, like came out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Captain Cantu with all the old stuff. Anyway, so what's one thing you could never live without? Like, it just I can't make it.
I would have to say, probably my wife.
Major almost made the same mistake you did, but you recovered just like him.
No, really, she's she's everything to me. it's one of those perfect relationships where we started off just as friends, and it kind of grew from there. So I had a history of being with a lot of women, having a lot of failed relationships, and when the two of us got together, we were both kind of in this position of, hey, we're not really looking for anything serious. We just want to, have friends who we can, play video games together and things like that, and hang out, have a couple of, drinks here and there. And eventually, we kind of grew to depend on each other and appreciate each other's company so much that we realized, hey, we're actually in love, and let's stay together forever. And I haven't regretted it ever. I haven't regretted it a day since we first met. So
Years later, two kids, a house, and third ID later, here you are.
absolutely.
So, what's one thing that's on your bucket list?
Oh, bucket list. I don't know. I've pretty much done a lot of stuff in my life and seen a lot of things. Definitely, I would like to visit probably Antarctica. I've never been, there. That would be something that I'd like to do.
It's too cold there. Jazzy would. You ever seen a Chihuahua just start shaking for no reason? That'd be me, except like flip on the overdrive thing. I'm just gonna like burrow a hole straight into the ground just by my shaking.
Yeah, definitely the visiting places that I've never been would be the biggest thing. So definitely going there, or maybe going to space. Both are cold, and I like it cold. You can ask my wife. I keep the house really cold, and she always has to cover up and complain because it's so cold, and I can't stand the heat. And I'm in South Texas. It's one of those things where we kind of compromise. I hate the heat, but she loves Texas, so we keep the house cold, and she gets to live in Texas. So that's how it worked out.
Yeah, but you're like just covered in natural fur. I mean, of course you need warm.
That's true.
Oh wow. So, what is your favorite movie and why?
Oh boy, I have several. It really depends on really the genre. Amelie is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a kind of a quirky love story, but I also, really I like Seven. I like the Matrix trilogy. Definitely, I like Band of Brothers. Really not a movie, but a TV series. Really well done. Also, The Departed is probably one of my favorites as well. Of course, Bringing Out the Dead, which is if you haven't seen it, that's one of my favorites. If you
I
ever
actually
played,
have never seen it.
yeah, if you ever played ArmA with me, and I'm picking you up, you'll hear me quote Bringing Out the Dead. It's a story of a burnt out paramedic, so I can relate to him, and that's definitely a movie to check out. It's pretty dark, so if if you're not comfortable with that kind of thing, you may not want to watch it, but definitely one of my favorites.
Like, are we talking like a dark, like thriller where it's like all these controversial topics, or is it just gore and stuff?
I would just be kind of hard to watch. It's
So
kind of
gory.
thought provoking, not gory. It's more like thought provoking, kind of like
Oh,
a gosh, what's that movie called? I was trying to think of the one with damn it, I can't think of it now.
oh. We'll get back on that one.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
now tell me a funny story about an embarrassing moment that happened to you.
Oh gosh, I can't really think of anything. Let me ask my wife here.
Actually, tell her to come on and tell the story for you. I think it'd be funny.
Okay, I will tell. Not necessarily embarrassing, but kind of a funny story she reminded me of. I was working one day on the ambulance and picked up this. I had a trainee with me, a student. She was with me, a young girl. She was probably 18. Very cute girl. And we picked up this drunk guy. So this drunk guy comes and okay, maybe I shouldn't tell the story. It might be incriminating. Um, so the drunk guy
Change
comes
their
and
names, and then we'll just pretend nothing happened.
yeah, so drunk guy's on the stretcher, and we're driving, and I'm writing down my report, and she's writing down her report also, and he reaches over and he kind of starts caressing her thigh, and she's like, "Oh, stop," and I kind of smacked his hand. I'm like, "Hey, knock that shit off," and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, she's so beautiful." I'm like, "Just knock it off." So then a couple minutes later, he goes and he starts kind of rubbing her again. So I smack his hand. I'm like, "Hey, knock it off." And oh, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. So then he goes over a couple minutes later and he grabs her breast and he starts squeezing it. And I smacked his hand and he just won't let go. And she's trying to fight him off. So I go and I hit him on his forehead as hard as I could with my fist, and it kind of knocked him out. And I look at her and she's in shock, and I say, "Okay, just make sure you write on your report here that he had a contusion to the forehead when we picked him up." I kind of said it all nonchalant, and she looked at me like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah."
For all you that don't know, a contusion is just basically a fancy word for a bruise. So, okay, that's great. That definitely goes at the top of the list. I like that. Actually, I want to see a vote for that one. Which one's more funny? Captain Cantu beating up a drunk guy, well, punching a drunk guy, or Major Flash running through a field naked? Vote now. All right, you're done from voting. Okay, I love that. I just love that story. Okay, I'm going to be talking about that one for a little bit. So, God, you got me forget about what the next topic was. Oh, tell me about what your proudest achievement was that you've accomplished to this date.
I don't know. I'm not too much of a proudful person. I kind of I'm glad, or I'm
Wait, proudful?
happy with my achievements. Yeah, I'm happy
Prideful.
with my achievements. Yeah, prideful. Sorry.
I mean,
I'm glad
sir,
of my
it is
achievements,
proudful
and
if
things like that.
you want it to be sir.
Of course.
Okay.
I'm glad with the things that I've achieved and that I've been able to experience in life. But I know that I've worked hard for everything that I've done, and a lot of times the things that I've accomplished have been team efforts, and so I'm really proud of the teams that I'm with and that I work with. Here in the unit, I'm definitely proud to see what we've done, what we've accomplished in just a short time that I've been here. I know that the unit has a long history, and I've only been part of it for the last year and a half. But looking at really both companies taking off, 2 platoons of both companies, and we're constantly growing. I'm proud to be a part of that, and proud to be part of the team, and living up the legacy that we emulate the real third RD. So it's definitely something that I'm proud of.
Well, we're glad to have you. Definitely glad to have you. I haven't been here for that long, but I haven't been here for a year. But I enjoy it. You guys are all right. I can get over some things. But that is actually the conclusion to our Man Behind the Rank. I need to get a jingle. Man Behind the Rank. But well, I'm probably going to just take that sound clip and just put music behind it and just run that as my background. I don't know. Get like Gilmore to sing me something. Or Funk. Yeah, I'll get Funk to do it. He'll do it.
What you should do is have a favorite song picked by the person that you're interviewing, and then have that be as the outro. Just a little clip.
I guess that can happen. I mean, what song would you have?
I don't know. I mean, it could be a song or it could be a clip. You could do the whole Ruby Rod thing.
What would you want that planned? I could totally make it happen.
That's fine. Whatever you want to do.
We're gonna make it happen. Oh, something I almost didn't mention. I hope you guys are ready, because Major Flash lost his bet. He lost his bet about Super Bowl. He said the Panthers were going to win. They did not win. The Broncos won. So we're going to have a very interesting promotion ceremony this coming Sunday. Which promotion? It's going to be March the 6th. So if you're anybody who's anybody, do not miss that ceremony. I know the hell I'm sure not.
Definitely Public Affairs Office is going to be there recording. So that's going to be definitely a great event to witness.
I might actually use that, like his voice, in like one of my other future videos, and maybe like make a little segment or something. Throw it in there with him going, "Listen here, turd." I think it'd be kind of funny. Anyway, so that's concluded. Now we're going to talk about the mod of the month. You have it open right now?
I do, yes.
Okay, cool. The mod of the month for this month is actually called Speed of Sound Pure. Now, I know everybody in the unit, well, 70% of the unit is currently running this mod. That's one of the reasons I picked it. It's because, obviously, it's gotten such major traction that some people, it's not really talked about too much because it's a client-side mod, and it's allowed in third ID. You can load it up, you can play it, but all it does is change the sounds things make. It changed the sounds bullets make, or the sound of a gun shooting. Changes how grenades explode, changes how an AT4 fires, changes every single sound in ArmA to make it more realistic as a game is supposed to be. And it's really easy to just load it up, run it, whatever. Punk Buster doesn't recognize it as a threat, so you can just run it third ID. You can use it in third ID, which is a good thing because it's not game affecting. It just makes it sound better. And I'm gonna put a couple sound clips in here, but the main thing I love about it is the realism of it. Everything just sounds so polished, so perfectly crafted. So, like, I recommend anybody using this who, like, if you are into realism.
And definitely one of the things that I like about it is that I feel that the normal sounds tend to be just there's really no medium. I'm not an audiophile, so I can't really give you accurate terminology, but I feel like with the regular gameplay, it's just either it sounds okay or it just sounds insanely loud to give you the effect of this is a loud sound. And when you use the mod, I feel like you get really a more wide range of the effects of sounds. If you're shooting a rifle, it's going to have a loud sound to it. It's going to have kind of a loud boom to it as well, or bloom, I should say, to it as well. But it's also appropriate for what a rifle would sound like, as opposed to just making a rifle sound loud because rifles are loud. So I do like the mod, and I think that it is a great addition if you're going to run it on the client side.
And they actually show echoes, because in the normal game, there's not really echo. When you shoot a gun, it doesn't reverberate through the canyon. But in the speed of sounds, you can hear the shot reverberating. So if you're getting fire from a canyon or something, you might not know where that shot's coming from because it's echoing too much. All sounds are bouncing off everywhere, which I love that realism aspect of it. That's one of my favorite things about it. It's the reason I'm recommending it to you guys. Go pick it up. The producer of the file is actually called Big Pickle. So go check him out. Go check all the stuff out. I'm gonna post a link to this mod in the description below, so you guys can go check it out. There's gonna be a couple links down there. Actually, I have to sort them out in a really accurate way. Put like the 2 recruitment videos and put like the link, bam, right there at the bottom. Put an arrow pointing down. Sounds good. But that is the end of our podcast, February 2016 podcast. I like to thank Captain Cantu for coming through here and lending his vocal talents to my little project here.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me. I definitely enjoy spending time talking with you and recording these types of things for the unit. Definitely feel that it's a good time to be had, and I can't wait to hear the end result. And I'm glad to have everybody, as I mentioned, glad to have everybody, part of the team here. And I look forward to seeing what everybody can accomplish with your future here in the unit. So keep it up.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. This is Corporal Johnson.
It's Captain A.Cantu.
Reporting out. Stay frosty, third ID.
Carry on.
Rock of the Mars.
Hooah.
Hello. God damn it. I got to start over.
Sorry.
All right. Oh, I got a snare in my headphones. Blah. It's going to be... I can't even put up in the blooper reel because you done it up. See? I got to put bleeps in there now.
I got no snare. Where's my snare?
See you guys next month. This is Corporal Johnson.
This is Captain A.Cantu.
Reporting out. Stay frosty, third ID. Rock of the Main. Okay, let's do that outro again because I kind of f***ed it up.